big news coming out this week from the Federal Reserve, but even bigger news, I think, when we look at the macro picture in silver and what is happening there, it's going to shock you. But most importantly, like I tell you, and I told you twice today, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the basement. Look, it's a really big deal. We love to talk about precious metals. We've got precious metals lovers. People in the crypto world love to learn about precious metals as well. So everyone is welcome here, and there are big things brewing. I'm going to show you a quick chart that we're going to look at later. This is going to be a real, true eye-opener for all of us. We'll get to this. This will, in no uncertain terms, explain to us what is going on. But when we go out to take a look at what is happening right now, gold's taking it on the chin, well down $33, about 1%. But silver, interestingly, is up almost 0.25%. That's what we've been seeing lately. Silver showing some strength, some compression in that gold to silver ratio that we've talked about many, many times. But what's even crazier in silver is what is happening right now in the paper markets. Get ready to be shocked, guys. Let me see if I can share this with you. This is some incredible data that we're getting in regards to the silver paper market. This comes from the dude, okay? The total short position in silver is now 957 million ounces. How much is a naked short? How much is naked short? He's asking that on top of the short position. How does this story end? I'm hoping for 1 billion next week. So guys, and this is what's absolutely crazy about this is if we go down, Magnus pointed this out. In 2024, global silver mine production is estimated to have reached approximately 916 million ounces. Global silver mine production. Remember that number, 916 million. What do we get up here? There's 957 million ounces short. That means there's more silver shorted, sold. I'll talk to you about this in a little bit. This beauty sold short than the entire global mining industry produces in the course of 1 year. Let's think about that for a second. How does this get rectified? It's either going to be one of two ways. A short squeeze, meaning they've sold already right now more silver, sold already in paper form, digital form, more silver than the entire mining industry will put out for a year. They have to buy all that back. That has to be all bought back. That could easily create a short squeeze. Now, option number two, because we'll look at both sides of the old coin, would be that they successfully do what they've been doing for decades, which is manipulate the price of silver down so that they can buy it back at a lower price. The way the world is shaking out right now with what's happening, and wait till you see, we're going to talk about this Fed thing that's going to open your eyes, but we're also going to talk about what's going on in the world right now from a big picture perspective at the end of this video that's also equally as shocking. I think it gets rectified by some form of a short squeeze. And we even had TD Securities put out a note about a week and a half ago talking about what they were referring to as miniature short squeezes that are happening right now because of even imbalances within that digital market. We could be in, look guys, we need to remember something, right? Between the year, 2000 and the year 2011, the silver price went up 10x. It will happen again. I believe that. Now, look, don't make any financial decisions based on anything I'm saying. I'm the guy that was down here when silver was 15, 16 bucks an ounce, telling you that I thought silver could go to the mid 30s. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're a believer in silver and the big picture story, right, the attributes of silver, it can go up by 10x. Look, okay, here, see, this is not prepared. I apologize. But I want to show you. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if this is indeed the truth. This is a silver chart. Now I'm sharing the right screen. Sorry about that. And we will go to all. This is on Yahoo Finance. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I mean, look at this. In the year, it was lower. Look, Silver price, $4.55 in January of 2001. Silver per ounce, $4.55, all the way up to $50 per ounce, $49.52 in April of 2011. It can happen. I don't need to draw that on there for you, huh? Hey, while we're here, let's have some fun and remember on what's a challenging day for the markets that the silver market does continue. Okay, we're going to draw a red line in the sand at $35 per ounce. There's 35 right there. Okay, we got rejected a couple times. We got rejected a couple times. We are now, right, in a good way above that price. Okay, so it's going to be a squeeze or a smash. That's the bottom line as we rectify what is near record level short positions right now in the paper silver market, right? The make-believe silver market, not this silver market. And by the way, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mint. See my finger? It's right in the middle. That's their logo. That's the mint that's owned by Keith Neumeyer's First Majestic Silver. This is their Year of the Dragon round. They are a mint located in Las Vegas. Isn't silver beautiful? Wow. Las Vegas, Nevada. They're making world-class silver products, unique products out of their mint in Las Vegas, Nevada. But what's coolest about it is they're using silver that is mined by First Majestic Silver in Mexico. So this silver, when you get it from First Mint, right, it comes from the mine, right, to the mint, to you, made in the USA and never, right, minted in the USA, mined in Mexico, minted in the USA, but never once touched by the COMEX or the LBMA. This piece of silver that I hold right here has never been part of the paper digital manipulative. So if you want to support First Mint, you can go to their website, firstmint.com. They do have a discount code, VIPRB. Think of VIP Ron's Basement. It's a company you can trust, great prices, great service, backed by First Majestic Silver, owned by First Majestic Silver and Keith Neumeyer, who's like royalty in the precious metals world. Goldman Sachs, let's touch on them briefly, is telling us we got to talk about our friend gold. Okay, here we go. This came from Zero Hedge. This was from April. I just want to go back in the time machine here. When Goldman Sachs says that gold can reach $4,500 by year end, UBS, JP Morgan, and Goldman upgrade their precious metals outlooks. Guys, these are UBS, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs, the biggest, right, the behemoths of the financial services industry in the world. Again, 3 months ago telling us, look, and we know what's happened since then. We've gone up. This can absolutely continue to happen. And this is very interesting. Goldman Sachs put out a note recently. Don't tell anybody, but Goldman Sachs recently put out a note, right, that they think that the Chinese are secretly buying more gold. What do you think? As the world explodes, and we're going to touch on that toward the end of this video as well, that the Chinese are buying more gold. Hey, I also want to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mining Gold. They also sponsor gold and silver content here in Ron's Basement. First Mining Gold. They're a Canadian gold development stage company. They have massive gold resources that have been established in the ground in Canada. The Duparquet project in Quebec, and they also have the Springpole project in Ontario, and they have the Cameron project up in Canada as well that also has 1 million ounces of gold in the ground. We're talking millions of ounces of gold in the ground. To me, right, I don't own a lot of physical gold. I don't keep any metals here at the house for that matter, but nonetheless, if I'm going to own gold, I like this idea that I own a gold mining company that has millions of ounces of gold in the ground. And the value proposition, in my opinion, is very attractive. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. Now, let's talk about the big Fed meeting. Are you ready? Huh? You're going to put your thinking cap on for a second, because Wednesday we got the big Fed meeting. Okay, now, two big things about this. Number one, I can tell you right now, there is no chance they're going to cut rates. If I'm wrong on this one, or raise rates for that matter, it will be a shocker. It is literally a 1 in 1,000 chance that they're going to change interest rates, which almost seems too good to be, I don't want to say true, but maybe there will be an outlier. But quite literally, let's go out and I'm going to show you. This was as of earlier, so it may have changed. I'm running a risk here with you. Here we go. So this was earlier today. This is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange FedWatch tool. And as you can see, Wednesday, we're going to get the monetary policy decision from the Fed. But I got big insight I want to share with you about what's really going on with this. But right now, as you can see on your screen, okay, the current rate is 4.25 to 4.5. Here, that is down here. And they're telling us that the big money is saying there's a 99.9% chance that rates will remain the same. That means there's a 1 in 1,000. Oh, here it is. Oh, actually, that's interesting. There's a 1 in 1,000 chance that rates would actually go up, because as you can see, that's the 4.5 to 4.75 range, which would be up. So there's zero chance, according to the big money on the CME, that we're going to get a rate cut, and a very slight 1 in 1,000, I believe that is, chance that the rate will get cut. But that's not really the important part. The important part is this. I drew this for you guys. This is what's really going on. Okay, I'll wait for that to load up for you. All right, so right now, what everybody wants is for the Fed to cut rates, right? So here is interest rates. This would be interest rate, and there's 4%. I kind of drew 4% on my chart. Everybody wants interest rates to get cut, okay? And for inflation, that's IR interest rate, inflation, IMF, to remain the same, okay? That would be good for the guy. That would be, the markets would fly and gold and silver would go up and blah, blah, blah. That's not probably going to happen. I don't think it's really probably ever going to happen, because what the reality is over here, and don't worry, this has a happy ending for gold and silver people, okay, is that interest rates, IR, are going to remain the same, but inflation is going to go up. And the reality of the situation is this accomplishes over here, interest rates remaining the same, but inflation going up, is this over here, what everybody thinks they want. Inflation remaining the same, but interest rates getting cut. Because this difference that you can see right here between the inflation rates and the interest rates, that represents negative real interest rates, okay? And this is, we're looking at what the real inflation rate probably is. That difference, right, is still present over here under this scenario as well. So while everybody's clamoring for, oh, we want interest rate cuts, we don't need interest rate cuts, okay? It's 6 or 1/2 dozen the other. What we're going to get are negative real interest rates. And the bottom line, as you can see right here, I'll draw a line under the bottom line, is that the US dollar is being devalued, that the value of silver and gold will go up if we choose to use this as the unit of measure. You know what this is, right? This, do you know that there's a difference between this, hold on, and this? If we're going to use this, which is what we have now as our unit of measure, the value of gold and silver measured in these will go up, because this is paper. This is the most real form of what they've got, right? This does not have any form of scarcity to it. This, as we know, can be printed into infinity. Just for your educational and entertainment purposes, a guy down in Florida sent me this about a year ago. This is, let me pull that up there. You can see on the bottom, you should be at the top, you can see a silver certificate. and it says redeemable to bear on demand for silver. This is the old dollar. So when we're going to measure our silver, right, we should really measure this. Let me show you the back of this coin. Unbelievable beauty. It's the Chinese calendar on the back of that coin from First Mint. If we're going to value this measured in these paper dollars, this is going to go up in value. Just my opinion. I don't have a crystal ball, right? But the other thing that we've talked about, guys, is we can always think of this in terms of ounces. Think of this in terms of something that stores value. Think of this as a battery, right? People, and in this case of this one, in Mexico, recently toiled and worked. Big respect to all those miners, to all their energy, all the machinery that went in to make this happen. All that value is stored in this. Think about it, right? If you go do some work for your neighbor and they pay you 35 of these, how long is that going to keep value? If they pay you one of these, how long is that going to keep value? I don't know. I would make the argument for much, much longer. So that's what's really going on with that. Now, let's go look at the debt clock, because this all ties back into what we're talking about right here on the screen. Okay. And the debt clock, because that dollar, oh, that's from 1980. This is interesting. Hold on a minute here. I'll get the right screen up for you. This is the U.S. debt clock from 1980. See if I can circle that for you. Yes, right there. I was 10 years old. How old were you in 1980? Well, guess what, guys? Back then, the debt per U.S. taxpayer was a whopping $11,000. What do you think that number is today? And let's go here. State, world debt clock, U.S. debt clock. See if I can. There we go. So from 1980 through today, and remember in 1980, we had $10,000 in debt per taxpayer. Today, we have $300,000. And guys, we are getting ready, getting close. Let's do this in yellow, because this is important. We are getting close to the big day, because our national debt in the United States is getting very close to rolling over to $37 trillion. Do you think that's going to make front page news on the Wall Street Journal or the Financial Times? I don't know, right? But we do know one thing for sure. With higher interest rates, right, because the world doesn't want our debt anymore, this 37 trillion in debt is making this number, you can see in the kind of middle bottom that I'm circling now, that's our interest payments, which are almost $1 trillion. Need I remind you that $1 trillion is 1,000,000 times 1,000,000. And as that number goes up, that makes this, hold on, let me get my eraser. I think I have an eraser. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can erase stuff. Cool. That makes this number, the deficit, go up higher and higher and higher and higher. Okay. And remember, the U.S. federal government only brings in $5 trillion per year. And at this point, we're spending $1 trillion on interest. So the U.S. national debt, draw a line with, there's an arrow with high interest rates, makes our interest expense go up. And then from there, that makes the deficit go up. And guess what the deficit makes go up? It makes the debt go up. Do you see a circular pattern here, right? U.S. national debt, right, to the interest expense, to the deficit, makes the debt go bigger. It turns into, hold on, let's get a different color out for you. We'll do blue. It turns into a big debt spiral. Okay. On top of that, let's just briefly talk about this fact that we don't talk about often enough. Maybe because it's no fun to talk about it, kind of scary to talk about. That gold and silver are a refuge in times of uncertainty, in terms of war, in terms of financial crisis, and guys, in terms of upheaval. And let's just quickly, this one blew me away when I actually realized everything that is going on in the world. And I don't know that this is really an absolute complete, but I thought it came very close from the Silver Academy. Global chaos, nuclear threats, and America's unraveling. Is this the end of the old order? Look at this. The world on the brink. How many countries are in chaos right now? How did we get here? All right, let's talk about the conflicts that are fueling this uncertainty in the world. We have Russia and Ukraine. Okay. We also, that's a big deal, right? We're essentially supporting Ukraine in a war against Russia. We also have Israel versus Hamas, Israel versus Lebanon, Israel versus the Houthis, Israel versus Syria, and now we have Israel versus Iran. I mean, very scary situation, but there's more. India is at odds with Pakistan, Azerbaijan versus Armenia, North Korea versus South Korea, North Korea versus America, China versus Taiwan, China versus America. And we have civil wars in Sudan, Somalia, Myanmar, and Yemen. I mean, guys, there's just so much going on. But then this is a whacker. This is the United States, okay? This shows largest single day U.S. political protest. We know we had massive political protest over the weekend. This is not a political show. I'm not pro or con. I won't go into that. This is a gold and silver show. But guys, look at this. This blew me away. Okay, this measures participants in millions over here. Okay. Oh, shoot. I kind of screwed that up on you. Anyway, this is participants in millions. If we go back and look at the George Floyd Black Lives Matters protest, you can see that comes in at about 0.5, I guess about 500,000 people. These protests, the No Kings protests that they did over the weekend, had 5 million people, a full 10x of what we had for George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. I don't want to be the preacher of doom or the saying the world is ending or anything along those lines. But when we look at gold and silver, why do you own gold and silver? Why do I own gold and silver, right? Because it's held its value through every war, political system, anything that's happened in the world throughout history. And when we look at what is going on right now in the world, I think we can feel safe that we own some gold and silver. Now, on top of that, when it comes to silver, for those of you who've just joined us, there's now a short position in silver that is bigger than the entire year's mining output, right? And the world is demanding more and more silver on a daily basis. I forgot to tell you, please give this video a thumbs up. Right? You're watching on YouTube. Find that thing that looks like that. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We want you to come back. We are in for a wild, wild ride in the coming months, quarters, years, even decade. We can see 5x, 10x. Look, I don't have a crystal ball. I could be dead wrong. But don't forget that bear right there. He was blindfolded with $2,500 written on it for over a year as we down here sat here and pounded the table and said, absolutely, we're going to get $2,500 gold. And when that happens, we'll take the blindfold off. Well, now the blindfold's off and we're approaching, all right, within striking distance of $3,500 gold. Right? You know, $60 silver by April 1st. Do you believe? I'll ask you the question. I mean, I don't know. It sure seems like a good time to not be invested in fiat currencies. But, you know, everybody makes their own decisions. I want to say thank you for being here. I also want to say thank you, channel sponsor MoonPay. They're the fintech leader growing and innovating on a weekly basis. And our friends at Ledger. They're the cryptocurrency hardware wallet security leader. Most importantly, I want to say thanks to you for joining me here in the basement. Come back. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day and take care.